got Dan Bruce here, hanging out on a Saturday night. What could be better than that? I just started vacation. I can't complain. Hanging out, play some rock and roll, gonna do another video. So, first up real quick, I got my first VCLT a couple weeks back. Thanks to the one and only, the vinyl community's wax peddling degenerate, one and only Ryan Kidd. What we're listening to here is the Fits, Board of Education. Some reissues from about 10 years ago on Ugly Pop. He also sent me the Fall's first 7-inch reissue on Superior. Great. Also on Superior, the Viaduct, the Mekon's second 7-inch, I believe. Good stuff. And then this band I've never heard of, Ed Nasty and the Dopeheads, I believe. This is really lo-fi garbage rock, dude. Killer, cool stuff. Thanks, Ryan. Appreciate it, brother. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this off and put another record on and get into the video. All right. So I'm gonna go ahead and stick with a theme that I think has been pretty popular and people have dug. And we're gonna go ahead and get into it. Today, we're doing the punkier side of Powerpop Volume 3. I keep going back to the well on this one because I like it, it's fun. I'm able to show some variety. But I don't want to go too far with it, so this will probably be my last one for a while. I haven't posted in a while because I had some gigs and some rehearsals and playing live music, so I'm happy to get back into it. So let's start with Volume 3. Here we go. At first, I wasn't going to include this band, but the more I think about it, the more I want to do it, because they really are a great power pop band, and they do have some edgier elements at times. And that would be from 1979 in Boston, the Atlantics. Now, the singer in this band could have been in a heavy metal group. He has a killer voice, man. He has more in common with Steve Perry than he does Jello Biafra. But, great band. I think they're cool. This is worth checking out. Boston Power Pop from 1979. Tracks to check out: When You're Young, Television Girl, and Big City Rock. The Atlantics, #1. Next, we're going to go to 1978 Toronto. And again, if you watch these videos, Canadians had this shit on lock. And this would be on Bomp Records. Battered Wives. Now that band name is a little cringe, I understand these days, but this is 1978, it is what it is. Battered Wives. Now these guys are interesting because they do a little bit of everything like some of these bands do. There's the enter. They had two singers. One guy was kind of a more rock and roll-y guy, and the other guy was kind of snotty and more the punk style. But both guys are good. Comes on red wax. This isn't a reissue, this is an original. They pressed this on red. Yeah, at times these guys sound a little pub rocky, a little rock and roll. But all in all, they're really good. Everybody's a Loser, Daredevil, and Angry Young Man. Those are 3 songs on this that I feel like encompass this title, this genre we're talking about. Need a drink. Remember, I'm on vacation. Next up, out of the UK, Carpets. Look at that. Raw killer. It's got an enter in it. Nope. So yeah, Carpets out of UK. Straightforward. Just 3-piece, straightforward rock. They do that thing that the UK bands did a lot, where they throw a couple reggae tracks on, and they're probably most known for one of those. But for me, that's not really the ones I really like. I would say Frustration Paradise, I Don't Mean It, Away From It All, Cruel Honesty, and Indochina. It's 5 tracks off here that are really good. This record doesn't really have a bad track, but those 5 in particular are ones that I really like. check out the Carpets. Alright, next, 1980 out of LA. Now I was told that this band was kind of a proto band in the mid 70s, like 75, but didn't actually really release anything until 1980. So I don't know what's up with that. But this, although it's kind of original and different, it doesn't have a proto sound in my opinion. But that would be LA's Flyboys. I love this cover, it's really cool, man. There's the dudes in the back there. Let's see what we got inside. Nope, no inner. I get really bad luck with inners, I guess. But yeah, songs off this. Perfect, Picture Perfect, and Different Kind of Guy. This is a 7-song, I guess you would call that a mini LP. So yeah, this is worth listening though, Flyboys. Next, 79, we're gonna go back to the UK. My brother Mika showed this record and talked about it, I think. This was originally released in the UK under the name Little Bo Bitch. But as we know it in the United States, The Lonely Boys. It's also a really good record, doesn't have any bad songs on it. Yeah, I just think the name change is funny. I guess Americans couldn't handle that kind of name. The English seem to be a little bit more open-minded to that type of shit than we were back then. Anyway, so 1979. There's some gang vocals on this. There's some keys. It's pretty quirky at times, very British. Newtown, Lonely Boys, It's Only Love, Annoying All the Neighbors. That's a cool one. The Lonely Boys, aka Little Bo Bitch. Hydrate, baby. Okay, next. Imagine that, we're going back to Toronto. Numbers. Now this is straight up power pop. Almost jangle pop at times. But they do have a few rippers on the record, that's why I wanted to include it. Because it's all good rock and roll. So, out of Toronto, Sideways Elevators. Can't Take It. Get Away. Those are 3 tracks on this that have a punk edge to them. And no inner. Got horrible luck with the inners, man. Oh well. They're all OGs though, so that's cool. Next, I've talked about this band before. And I talked about their other record, their debut, which I think is one of the most underrated punk records that came out of that area. Come out of Ireland, Dublin, back in the 70s, which is TV2 Heart by the Radiators from Space. This is their second record, Ghost Town. Got the GM Records import on it. Look at that, it's cool. This is their second record, Ghost Town. Oh yeah, look what I got here. Oh, now it's not gonna come out. There we go. Nice little inner there. So yeah, this record isn't as good as their debut. I mean, everybody knows that, but it's still worth having. And for what I'm talking about, this probably represents it better than the first one would. So off this, again, I want to point out too, the bass player on this record is amazing. He's in the band, I mean, but he's amazing on this record. Anything he does, the guy's great. And me being a bass player, I appreciate it. Very melodic, does a lot of walking, real good. So off of this, Million Dollar Hero, Johnny Jukebox, and Who Are the Strangers? Radiators for Space, 1979, Dublin, Ireland. Got a few more here. These next two, I always say I'm gonna get some controversy, but no one ever says a word. People are like, yeah, it's great, we love it, thank you. Cool, appreciate it. The next one, out of Hamilton, Ontario, not Toronto, but still Ontario. I'm telling you, I need to do an all Canadian episode. It'd be like 30 fucking bands. Anyway, by no doubt it's a rock and roll band, a party band, and a punk band. A lot of people don't call them power pop, but they definitely have the sensibilities. The cool thing about this is some of these bands, and it's all rock and roll. That's the most important thing here. It's all rock and roll, but some of these bands are power pop bands that have a few punk tinged type songs, and then some of these bands are more punk and have a poppier side to them. So that's why I grabbed some of these bands. But this is the amazing, great Teenage Head debut, 1979. Now, again, this is a rock and roll record, this is a punk record, but you can't deny that this has pop sensibilities, and there are some power pop tunes on here. Back cover, look at the boys looking sharp. Yeah, killer. So, picture my face, you're tearing me apart, and of course the classic. It's considered a punk song, but ain't got no sense. It's got melody all over it. Get some. Teenage Head. The next one is going to be even more controversial. From England, 1977. Debut for the Vibrators. Pure Mania. Boys in the back. And I almost didn't put this one in there because this is a punk record through and through, and there's really not even a debate. But again, similar to Teenage Head, they did have a poppier side to them, and there's a few tracks on this record that are definitely power pop influenced. So those songs, Sweet Sweetheart, of course, the famous single that everybody loves, Baby Baby. Whips and Furs, kind of a power pop tune, and You Broke My Heart. Now, other than Baby Baby, I wouldn't say any of these are my favorite songs on the record. I like a lot of the other stuff better, but for what we're talking about, those 4 songs apply. Great record, great band. Get this shit. And last, got a twofer for you. See that, folks? A twofer. Peace, twofer. Again, we're going back to Canada. 1979 and 1980. Out of Vancouver, we have the Young Canadians. Okay, so this is really stripped down punk rock in my opinion, but they do have a couple songs on each of these that kind of fit the power pop thing. Now, these are both 4-song EPs. That's why 12-inch EPs. That's why I included both of them. Gives you 8 songs, the bulk of their discography. They do have some other things that were on comps and singles and stuff. But for the most part, these 2 EPs are what the Young Canadians did. So off the first one, Hawaii, the title track, and the song No Escape. Those are 2 killer songs on this one. Check those out. The second release from 1980, This Is Your Life. Just a Loser, and Don't Bother Me is what we got here. Now I'm going to segue into something here. Don't Bother Me brings up a good point. A good buddy of mine, online anyway, has been pointing out that you got to be cool on here, right? It's really easy to be nice to people. Don't be an asshole. With that, thank you. The Punkier Side of Powerpop Volume 3. Behind me, we're rocking out to the Heats from last episode, last volume, out of Seattle. Love this record. Check it out. All right, everybody. Enjoy your Saturday night. I'm going to be on vacation next week. Much love. Cheers.